Hey guys, it's been a minute. Yeah, I know I'm getting fat. It's from my garden. Let me show you what I'm growing this year. I'm growing so many different varieties of things this year, different varieties of tomatoes and stuff, that I had to make a diagram so I could remember what each one of them was. So first off, I'll give you a slow overview here of how I've got everything situated up here on my hill. And then we'll walk up and take a look at each individual plant. So we'll start off here. I've got 9 different varieties of tomato growing on my hillside here. And I've got them in different stages of growth. And I'm growing everything from, let's see here, 4, 6, 2, and 5. I'm growing Whoppers, Better Boys, Big Beef, Kellogg's Beef, and Brandywine up here on my hill. Right here on my fence I have put a cucumber that I started in the house and transplanted it. And as you can see, I've already got a couple of really nice cucumbers under there ready to be picked. Alright, I've got 3 more tomato plants planted alongside my scuppy dimes here. They're actually pretty small still. Like I say, I've got them in different stages, so I'll have tomatoes all during the summer. I have also got tomatoes in my buckets here. I got these big 55-gallon buckets that I've cut in half, drums. And I've got that big tote there with different kinds of tomatoes in it. And as you can see in this blue container, I've got tomatoes hanging everywhere under here. Or at least I hope you can see them. These are Kentucky Beef Orange beefsteak tomatoes. So is this one in the white bucket. It's a Kentucky Beef heirloom tomatoes. Got lots of tomatoes hanging in it. Okay, in this great big tub here I have got purple Brandywine right here. I've got a few tomatoes on it, but they're really small. They're just starting out. And I've got a big beef plant right here on this side of it. I got several tomatoes hanging on it, but they're kind of small. Then I got a pink Brandywine just starting right in there. Okay, off to the side here I have got a few pepper plants. I did have them in pots and they wasn't doing very good, so I put them in the ground. And I've got a couple of different kinds of onions growing. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. A lot of this stuff is the first year I've ever grown it. I've grown tomatoes a lot, but a lot of this other stuff I've never grown before, so it's a learning curve for me. And I haven't been doing all that great. But my peppers are looking okay. They're just kind of long. Alright, in my cage here, my first one here is a Bush Goliath hybrid. I'm really surprised with this tomato plant. It stays only about 3 foot tall, stays real short. It loads up with tomatoes just constantly. I mean, it's always hanging full of tomatoes. And they get decent size. I mean, you can see in there, they're sandwich size eating, and they taste really, really well. And they have real thick stalks. So I'm really happy with these. Alright, here's a big overview of my cage that I keep my tomatoes growing in, a lot of them. We'll walk up here and take a look. I'll show you. I got some pretty good sized tomatoes coming on there. Got a lot of red ones in here. I got 3 different kinds of tomatoes growing in here. Let's step in here. It's like a tunnel. That's one side of it. I got some little ones growing there in the back, and then this is the other side of it. Most of these are orange beefsteak heirlooms in here. Kellogg's breakfast and Kentucky beef. And I got a couple of Brandywines in here, and I think a I think this one right next to me here with all these red ones on it already, they came in early. I think they're, let's see what they are. That's whoppers. These plants are already taller than I am though. They're growing out of my cages. Alright, over here I made a thing for my cucumbers to run on. And I got several more cucumber plants. I started all this stuff in the house, guys, with seeds. I started all these indoors over the winter with these new grow lights that I purchased. They're called Vapor Spectra. They're called Vapor Spectra. And I started all my plants from seeds. And I gotta say, these lights do a phenomenal job. I got them, like I say, over the winter, and I got them cheap. So, and they're adjustable, the brightness. And I bought me a timer and put them on a timer. And I hung them from my ceiling in my bathroom. So, I'm really tickled with hatch coming out. I got a lot. Some just starting. Right there it is. Got one right there. Alright, I'm going to show you my potatoes now. I got them in 2 big black totes here. Or buckets, I don't know what you call them. They're getting really tall though. What I did was I put about 5 inches of dirt on the very bottom, planted my potatoes in that. Once they sprouted, then I started covering them with hay. And they just keep getting taller and taller and taller. They're looking really well. And I got some really tiny tomatoes started here. They'll be real late. I took some of these old logs where they did all this logging around here, and I drug some up here and made me a big square, and I filled it full of hay. My neighbor up here, he's got big fields and he gets big bales of hay, and he gave me one of them to put in here, and I'm letting it rot down so I can plant stuff in it next year. I got a little ahead of myself though. This was new hay, it hadn't rotted any yet, and I've already planted stuff in it just to see how it would do. I've got a few potatoes starting. Got one right there. One right there. A couple over. I got them planted right around this edge here. But I'm hoping that'll rot down into some really good dirt for future planting. And I've got one tomato plant planted in this new hay. I started it as a seed and put it in there just to see how it would do, and by George, I'm surprised it's growing really well in that hay. And I've also got some pepper plants just coming on in there. Now to my mess ups, my screw ups, what didn't work. I first started out with a whole lot of this stuff in pots on this table here. They're 3-gallon pots. I thought that would be enough, I thought it would work, but it didn't. It takes too much water, or they either flood them or they drown. I mean, they dry out too quick. Nothing seems to grow good up here. And two, I messed up because a lot of this lettuce here, I didn't know how to do lettuce, and I just put a bunch in there and let them all come up like this over here, where there's so many in there, and they got leggy because they couldn't grow because there was so many. And I can say a lot of this is new for me, and I didn't thin them out. This one I did, and you can see he's getting thick, but I've just lost most of that, I think. But hey, you live and learn. I'll know better next year on what to do and how to grow things. Like I say, a lot of this stuff I planted out here just in the yard. A lot of it's in the cage over there where I've always planted my tomatoes. I'm just planting different kinds, different places to see what grows best where, and to see just what kind of stuff I can grow. Okay guys, here's some bonus footage for you of my front yard. We will start out with my new fire pit. I took my old fire pit and I concreted it in so it'll hold up and last longer. Got me a big pile of wood here. Y'all guys know I like to sit out here late in the evening on cool nights and build fires. We added a tent on the patio for a little extra shade, which turned out really nice. My tower is looking real luscious and green this year. My elephant ears around my water wheel is doing exceptional well this year. They're looking really good. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. If you would, please like and subscribe down below. It helps out. And as always, thanks for stopping by and I'll see you later.